calcio italiano.
Good afternoon and welcome to Football Italia. We're here at the magnificent Stadio Olimpico in Rome this week for our big game, Lazio against Milan. And a very eagerly awaited event it is too, because today we should find out, can the champions Milan be stopped? Gascoigne, Boksic and Signori all say that they can be, and 70,000 fans plus will be inside the stadium to see just how right they are. And amongst those 70,000 fans, there'll also be our competition winners from the Football Italia Goal of the Month competition. Yay! Lovely to have them here with us. Also joining us as well, Liam Brady and our commentators Ray Wilkins and Peter Brackley. Right now, though, it's time to join, as ever, Kenneth Wolstenholme.
Last week, Football Italia featured second against third. Today, it's first against fifth, as mighty Milan visit the Olympic Stadium here in Rome. And for Lazio, the visit of the reigning champions could hardly be better timed. Dino Zoff's men are on a roll. 3 successive wins and 10 goals scored, 6 of them from Beppe Signori. Milan, meanwhile, have become the mean machine. Just 1 defeat all season and only 8 goals conceded in their 23 games. They've failed to recapture their scoring flair of the previous 2 championship-winning years, the absence of top attacking stars forcing a definite change of tactics by coach Fabio Capello. 9 of their 14 wins have come by a single goal margin. Yet they're still 5 points clear of the chasing pack and 7 ahead of 5th place Lazio as they chase a hat-trick of title victories. Lazio, though, must fancy their chances of closing that gap today. Their confidence sky high after 3 exhilarating victories in a row. And it's Beppe, the man who's put the pet back in their play. Signori missed nearly half the season with a niggling succession of injuries. But last year's leading goal scorer in Serie A showed that he hadn't lost his touch on his return. Against Cremonese 3 weeks ago, he wrapped up Lazio's 4-2 home win with the final 2 goals. 7 days later, his penalty in our live game at Inter set them on the way to a 2-1 victory. Then last weekend, Signori destroyed Cagliari with a hat-trick. These 3 goals taking him to 13 in just 13 games and putting him joint top of the Serie A goal-scoring chart. Inevitably, there was only one man who could upstage him. That was our man Gaza. With former Spurs boss Terry Venables watching from the stands, he turned on the magic. And there was plenty to chat about when they met up on Monday to talk about their respective roles with England.
Certainly seems to be playing well recently. I just wanted to come and see the game live and just catch up with him in general, see what the way they want him to operate, the way players operate in here, and to see if I can think about my thoughts and what's happening with them.
Gascoigne and Signori could hold the key to today's outcome, but the Croatian striker, Alen Boksic, could also play a significant role against a side rumoured to have vied for his services when he was at Marseille last season. Milan could certainly do with an informed marksman like Boksic or Signori. The absence of last year's leading scorer, Marco van Basten, through injury has been a heavy blow. The departure of Ruud Gullit to Sampdoria has also robbed the side of pace, power, invention and striking ability. Yet despite this, Milan are in their customary position at the head of the table, beaten only once, 3-2 at Sampdoria after seemingly in charge when 2-0 up at half-time. Their most consistent scorer recently has been the veteran striker Daniele Massaro. 33 this May and a favourite at the San Siro for nearly 8 seasons, he's been rolling back the years with some vital strikes. After scoring in the 2-0 January win over Piacenza, he got the single goal that decided things in Bergamo against Atalanta. A week later, he weighed in with another that sparked a 2-0 victory away against Roma. And his 6 goals so far this season leave him close to the half-century mark for the club. Not bad for a man regarded more as a workhorse provider than a deadly finisher. Last weekend, while their rivals were trying to kill off each other, another well-established Milan man, Marco Simone, scored the single goal that was enough to beat Cremonese and give Fabio Capello's men their 14th victory. Over the years, Milan have had a clear edge in this fixture, although Lazio were proud of their goalless draw at the San Siro back in October. Plenty of goals when the sides met last season, though. 5-3 to Milan in the first encounter. Then it was 2-2 in the return, with Paul Gascoigne getting his third goal of his introductory season in Serie A. Can he repeat that today? Can Signori continue his golden run? Or will Milan take another step towards that magnificent hat-trick of title wins? Join us after the break for the whole match live.
Welcome back to the Stadio Olimpico. It's a nice hazy spring day here in Rome. We're outside the stadium, but inside, I think a cauldron of emotion is the only term I can use, really. The tension is palpable. You can cut the atmosphere with a knife, all that sort of stuff, because the place is packed out. There are banners and Union Jacks and everything really crammed in here. They're unveiling a giant football over in the Curva Sud. They've got the smoke bombs warmed up for the entrance of the teams onto the field. Now, we're a bit pressed for time today, so no time for one of my usual weekly speeches, unfortunately. Let's go straight over to Liam Brady, who's joined us at last time. They're getting a bit bogged down in your tiramisu, Liam. They say it's going to be a do-or-die game, this. Is that just hype, or is there something in that?
Well, no, I think if Lazio were to win, it would go a long way to opening up the championship again. You know, Lazio would have a chance then if Juventus and Sampdoria and Parma can get back winning again. It would really mean that the championship's wide open. But I'm not too sure they can do it looking at the Milan team.
A lot of people are very eager to write Milan off after some of the more disappointing results they've had so far. But it's fair to say that now they're over a big problem they have with injuries. People like Boban and Lentini coming back into the side.
Yeah, a lot of important players. But I'm not, I'm not too sure that the criticism's being fair. They're less spectacular than they were a couple of years ago, but they're still very, very effective. And they've got some great players in their side. And I saw a great player play on Wednesday night for France against Italy, Desailly, and I think Capello will be putting him in, especially on Gascoigne, to stop Gascoigne from playing.
So you can hear the volume really building up here. Just a final thing about Lazio and about Gascoigne. He's part of a side that's suddenly become very spectacular, 10 goals in the last 3 games. Do you think they're going to be able to repeat that kind of accomplishment against a team with a defence as strong as Milan's?
Well, it's very difficult. You've got Baresi there as marshalling the defence as ever. But, you know, you've got Gascoigne, you've got Signori, you've got Boksic. It's possible that they could unsettle them. But I think Lazio will have to watch Milan as well. And I think hopefully we're in for a game with a few goals.
Well, let's hope so. Let's turn over now to our, well, not turn over, that would be the last thing we'd want you to do, but let's go across, perhaps I should say now, to our commentary team of Ray Wilkins and Peter Brackley.
Thanks, James, and a warm welcome, everyone, as the Olympic Stadium in Italy's famous capital city prepares for the match that, while certainly not settling this year's Scudetto, may well have some bearing on its final destiny. Lazio, with Gaza sparkling, believe they're currently the form team of Serie A. Their recent record obviously supports that, but of course in Milan they're facing a team whose defence has been impregnable now for the last 8 matches. And a side that, while not as exhilarating as in the past, remains among the premier outfits in European and world football. A marvellous opportunity this today for Paul Gascoigne to underline his value to Lazio. He gives them the flair that they've lacked on the many occasions he's been absent since he moved to Italy. Now at last he seems to be getting a decent run in the side. The number 10 shirt as usual for Gaza. Ahead of him, coach Dino Zoff opts for a 2-man strike force of Beppe Signori and Alen Boksic, which means no place for Casiraghi, who was first choice striker for the Italian team in midweek. At the back, Negro is preferred again to Bonomi. Well, it's been a while since we featured Milan live on a Sunday game. Indeed, one of the last occasions was the goalless draw with Lazio in the San Siro. The personnel is much the same, still no Van Basten, and Lentini isn't considered ready for a full game yet after recovering from his horrific car accident. He will be among the substitutes, though. But most of the other stars are contributing strongly again. Baresi, Maldini, Boban, Albertini, Papan, Desailly, all on parade in a side that's lost only once in Serie A this season. The classic confrontation between 2 of the top teams in Italy. It really is an excellent chance for Lazio, not only to enhance their own title prospects then, but also to give the other contenders hope. Milan, remember, start this one 5 points clear of Juventus and Parma, 6 up on Sampdoria, followed by Lazio a further point adrift. In the other fixtures, Juventus are playing Torino. It's the Turin derby today. Parma are away to Foggia, and Sampdoria, they're in action tonight at home to Atalanta. Paul Gascoigne, who was in excellent form last week in the big home win they had over Cagliari, watched of course by Terry Venables. Lazio, whose only home blemish this term was defeat by Torino. They've scored 10 in the last 3 home games. Although Ray Wilkins alongside me here, with no disrespect to those 3 defeated teams, they're not in Milan's class when it comes to defending.
No, that's quite right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Peter. I think we've got the classic encounter. I think you hit it right on the head there, Peter. We've got possibly one of the best teams in Italy at going forward in Lazio, and with our own Paul Gascoigne actually starring at the moment, which is lovely to see. He's really putting in some great performances. There's another man, Boxic, a super player, but they're playing against a mean machine in Milan. Milan, as Kevin Gallen, our young centre-forward at Queen's Park Rangers, keeps telling me they're very lucky, Peter. They defend and scrape through with the odd goal. So we'll see if they're going to be lucky today as well.
There's Jean-Pierre Papin. There'd been a doubt about his fitness, but he's come through that OK. He's had a late test to take his place in the lineup. Paul Gascoigne, who I'm sure will be really charged up for this match. And Fabio Capello, the coach of Milan, only too well aware of Gascoigne's prowess and his ability to change the course of a game. Lazio in their light blue shirts, attacking the goal to our left. The ball given away then by Crivero, the Lazio captain. Here's Papin. His first strike at goal. Dealt with by Marchigiani, who's the number 2 in Italy behind Pagliuca of Sampdoria.
That was a good effort from Papin there. The ball's 30 yards out of goal, and people have said, well, against Marchigiani, maybe a bit far out, but it's the first kick of the game, the first touch of the ball from Marchigiani, and it was a good effort. It's nice to test the goalkeeper early on, see if he's on his mettle, and that's a good start from Papin.
Yes, 2 outstanding goalkeepers on view today. At the other end, Sebastiano Rossi, who's had 23 clean sheets in 30 games for Milan this season. That's some record rate.
Absolutely magnificent. Yeah, they really are the mean machine. They defend exceptionally well, Baresi at the helm. But Rossi, when called upon, has to concentrate for 90 minutes because they don't have to a lot of shots to save. But he's turned in some superb performances for Milan.
This is Di Matteo for Lazio. He'll play the anchor role. Now Boxic, who has terrific pace. Looking for Gascoigne. Cavalli. Boxic at the far post. And Aaron Winter way over the bar.
Listen to the atmosphere. It's absolutely magnificent. It's a hostile atmosphere, and this is what the game's all about. It'd be nice to see if our own Paul Gascoigne can really raise his game and play. But against possibly one of the best sides in Europe at the moment, and it really would be a nice fillip in his cap if he could perform and turn in an excellent performance against this Milan team. But the atmosphere is terrific, the game started well. Let's hope we're in for a good afternoon.
Rossi, who hasn't conceded a goal, incidentally, for 773 minutes, so he's inside of Dino Zoff's record of 903 minutes without letting in a goal. Gascoigne. Bacci to Gazza again.
I think it's pretty evident as well, Peter, as the game's kicked off. Liam was dead right. Desai has gone straight in on Paul Gascoigne and looking to pick him up at any opportunity.
Did indeed have a marvellous game in the week for France, Desai, although playing as a marker at the back rather than in midfield, the role he's been occupying for Milan since his move from Marseille back in November. Well, by Gascoigne, who needs to keep his emotions in check. He's been cautioned in 5 of the last 8 appearances he's made for Lazio.
I don't know whether that was a foul, Pedro. I thought Albertini just bounced off him. That is one of Paul's strengths. He's got enormous body strength, and I don't know whether he did foul Albertini there.
The pass from Tassotti. This is Aranio, caught though by Gascoigne. Aranio, who'll slot in down this right side with Donadoni and Lentini both left out. They're on the bench. This is Iranio, another man who featured in that international in midweek, Italy against France, which France won by the only goal. Desai. Now Iranio. This is Fouzer. Threatened by Boban. Fouzer again. Good lay off by Vinter. Maldini in pursuit. Gianni, who excelled at the goalless draw in the Lazio when Milan were frustrated earlier in the campaign. Simone in particular. Another man who's not made the starting lineup today, Simone, among the Milan substitutes. Free kick then to Lazio. Some shirt tugging there. Iranio on Di Matteo. Gascoigne.
Does just go to show the strength of the Italian side, Peter, when you've got a player of Simone's class, and he really has performed very well when we've seen him play. Doesn't actually get a mention on the subs bench, and of course they do have 5 subs. It just goes to show the strength in depth.
Iranio. 5 fairly tentative minutes played. This is Baresi. Shepherded out by Favalli. He knows off as ever, chain smoking down on the bench. Really big game for his team today. Boksic. Favalli. A swarm of Milan players collecting the ball. Negro policing Jean-Pierre Papin, and it's a decision in favour of Lazio. Papin, who's been out for 3 matches now with injury and hasn't really hit the heights expected of him when he has appeared for Milan this season. Nonetheless, a very dangerous striker, one of the most lethal in the world in front of goal. Gascoigne to Signori. Very untypical of Signori, who's been in magnificent form this season again. 13 goals in 13 Serie A appearances. And he's got 6 in the last 3, so he's right slap bang in form. Forward by Baresi. Favalli. This is Di Matteo. Now Bacci. Keeping Bonomi out of the Lazio side. Gascoigne slotting it through delightfully then to Boksic, but how quickly Baresi came snapping into the tackle. Provero, again good work from Gascoigne. Favalli. Quickly confronted though by Tassotti. Gascoigne. Already the centre of attention.
Started great, Peter, as well, hasn't he? Very, very comfortable on the ball. Big atmosphere game for Paul, but he really has started exceptionally well. There's another lovely touch.
Favalli. Now Boksic. Signori's in the middle. Check then by Costa Curta, which incensed the crowd.
He did well, Costa Curta. He's got his body in between Boksic and the ball, and I think Boksic tried to feign the foul and get something out of it. There was no chance.
Look on by Papin. He and Massaro then the front 2 for Milan. Bacci to Di Matteo. This is Aaron Vinter, the Dutch international. Wide of him is Fouzer. Fouzer today up against one of the most accomplished left-backs in the world in Maldini. One of the fairest too. He's only been cautioned now once in the last 2 seasons. Here's Gascoigne. What a mazy dribble. Still Gascoigne. Great run. And Rossi just managed to scoop it away as Signori arrived. Fabulous run by Gascoigne.
Absolutely brilliant, Peter. That was absolutely sensational stuff.
Signori whips it across again and bucks it for the header. Really wide opening this by Lazio.
Absolutely, and it's all caused by our own Paul Gascoigne. Look at this dribble. Like he's got the important thing for Paul was he got in the penalty box as soon as possible. Now no one can touch him once he's in there. The tackle has to be perfectly timed. And his anticipation of a tackle is quite superb, and that was a wonderful dribble. But he seems to be the one that Lazio are relying on to really perk them up and start them to play, and he's had a fantastic opening 10 minutes.
Dino Zoff has been playing down Gascoigne's improvement, saying that he's still got a long way to go yet, but he'll be pretty pleased with the way his star man has begun this game. On by Papin.
That's a good game. We have the two contrasting styles as well. We have Crivero who plays the out-and-out sweeper style for Lazio, and then we have the flat-back four of Milan. A lot of people think that Baresi, they call him a sweeper, but he actually plays in that flat-back four, and he really governs the show for the defensive line of Milan. But it's nice to see all the contrasting different ways of play.
Papin, Albertini, now Desai. This is Aranio. Crivero was caught then by Papin. Referee Beskin waving play on. Off goes Boksic. Victor's pulled out wide. Signori through the middle. Boksic with the shot. And well gathered by Rossi.
How far out he was. He must have been 10 yards, Rossi, as that shot went in. That's a super run from Boksic. He really does possess a lot of pace. And that's something Milan will have to watch out for, although they do have their own speed merchants at the back.
Albertini, who start for the Italian side against the French. And that shot then whipped in quickly, but into the body of Marcagiani. From Massaro. Desai with the free kick then for Milan. Albertini. Boban to Maldini. Boban, the Croatian. Now Maldini. Misunderstanding though with Boban, who's come back after a one-match ban. Costa Curta to Tassotti. Now Desai. Massaro.
From Massaro down the line, and Papin getting in a shot which Marcagiani had to save. But I must say this is one of the brightest openings that we've had in a long time on our Italian football, and both sides are really, it really does appear to me as if both sides are going out for the victory, not settling for a point.
Boban's through ball, just too long though for Papin. Dino Zoff, who was under a bit of pressure earlier in the season when Lazio seemed to be struggling, but the critics have quietened down now with Lazio's good run in recent weeks. On by Favalli. Aranio's won it back for Milan, and then good work too by Di Matteo. A real competitive edge to the game. Victor. On for Fuzel. And Boban taking no chances.
Good stuff. Di Matteo did exceptionally well. Looks as if he'd lost out to Desai and Tassotti down the right-hand side. Won it back very well indeed. And there was, well, I think we saw one of those diagonal runs from Boksic. A great run. He took 3 defenders away, which allowed the ball inside the fullback. But Boban showed great concentration to get back with it.
Signori with the corner. Lobbed it high towards Favalli. This is Baresi. Milan struggling to get it clear, but at the end they've won the free kick for that lunge by Paul Gascoigne. Very influential early on though for Lazio, Gaza.
Yes, he is. This is the best opening spell I've seen him I've seen him perform since he's been in Italy. He really is involved in everything. And he looks his old confident self. He's getting on the ball at every possible occasion. Hasn't given a ball away yet. Using it very well indeed.
Ranio. Fouled by Favalli. Just hearing of the first goal of the afternoon. It's been scored by Parma away to Foggia. And it's that man Zola who scored a magnificent goal last week to good Parma victory against Sampdoria. That's his 13th goal of the season. And a goal I know you admired, Ray, watching at home.
Absolutely, it was a wonder goal, and Zola really is playing some exceptional stuff. And it's a shame, really, when you think that Mancini and Baggio playing similar roles, but Zola really is performing to an exceptionally high standard.
Yes, Zola still not featuring in the Italian national team. Tassotti then with a throw for Milan. Movement from Iranio. Cavero, though, to whack it away. Now Boban has gone across to take the kick. Great friend of his fellow Croatian Boksic to the Lazio side. Papan.
Dangerous game, actually, Lazio played there. They left Di Matteo in on the post. Everybody pushed out to the edge of the box. He only had to get a favourable ricochet in Milan's favour, and they could have been in real trouble.
Gascoigne. It's Signori. Now Fuser. Looking for Boksic. I think he was looking for a penalty.
Good work again from Boban. He's getting back there and he's helping to cover everybody. Here you see a little knock over the head of Tassotti, but who's there? It's Boban again, and just knocks it away for a corner kick.
Fuser. Gazza appealing for a corner, but I don't think it took any kind of deflection on the way. Fuser, who hasn't scored for some 10 games now, but has been playing well.
I'm sure he'd love to do well today, Pete, as well, Milan being his old club. They sold him when they bought Lentini, and we thought that Fuser was playing exceptionally well at the time, and it was a bit unfortunate they sold him, but nevertheless, he's performing very well for Lazio now.
He had a couple of years with Milan, did Fuser, but couldn't gain a regular place, such was the competition for places. Now, Tassotti. Massaro, on by Albertini, and the flag's up for offside. Also watching the game today with us, of course, is Liam Brady. Liam, what have you made of the early phase of the game?
Well, it's fascinating, Peter. It's a really good game with the Lazio front line looking lethal and Gascoigne pulling the strings. Let's hope Paul can keep it up, because I think they could turn him over today if he manages to keep playing the way he is.
Thanks, Liam. We'll hear from you again later on. Also all the other scores, of course, as we see them throughout the afternoon. Now Gascoigne. Favalli, who gives Lazio good balance down the left. That's Boksic getting nowhere. Costa Curta, really strong at the back alongside Baresi. Now Desai. Three of Milan's back four played for the Italians the other night. Aldini, Baresi, Costa Curta, and a fourth, Panucci, who's injured at the moment, will almost certainly feature in the World Cup squad as well. Now Signori. If any side can stretch Milan at the back, surely it's Lazio. Fuser. Now Gascoigne. He's certainly begun confidently enough of Lazio. There's Di Matteo. Gascoigne off of Boksic, just offside, but only just.
My word, what a goal that would have been. The great one too. I think it was in the back of the net. You know, you just have to wait for the referee to make the decision. You put it in the back of the net and let him tell you it's offside.
Tassotti. Now Di Matteo. Gascoigne to Vinter, who by his own admission is not playing as well this season as he did in his first. for Lazio. Foul by Baresi, who has his hands full today with Boxic and Signori.
He actually read Boxic very well there, and he's a big lump to actually put him down, but Baresi read that situation well, and I think he was a little bit unfortunate to be penalised. Nevertheless, he has been, and here's Gaza again, once again, to pull the strings.
Gascoigne, away from Massaro, not though from Desai. This is Massaro now. Di Matteo with a rather crude challenge. Now Parma have scored again, so they're going well away to Foggia, and it's Asprilla, the Colombian, who's made it 2-0. That's his 8th of the season.
Ah, he wasn't offside. There's the replay of the Boxic chance. He didn't look offside as Paul played it forward. He's got such tremendous pace that there's a little clash of heads there, Baresi and Boxic.
Certainly a late flag, wasn't it, on the offside
Yes, it
decision?
was. He's got so much pace, Peter. Once he gets a yard, he looks as if he's 10 yards in front of you, and I think it can be quite misleading at times.
Baresi in trouble here.
Yeah, I think they appeared to run into each other as the ball was played over the top.
Captain of Italy, of course, as well as Milan. His 17th term with this great club. Seen it all, done it all, worn the T-shirt, Baresi.
Yeah, look at the way he's going to body check Boxic as well. That's a little bit cynical from Baresi.
But was.
There's really no need for it because he has the ability to get with him and outplay him. But these things happen, and Baresi framed it quite well, really, to get away with that because it was a bit of a cynical foul.
Advice for Boban from Capello as we approach the halfway point in the first half.
Always a sign of a good game. 20 minutes gone, it feels as if it's only 5 minutes, and we've got a good game on our hands here.
Bizarre with the cross, flags up for offside. Gaza's absolutely incensed.
That's where he's got to be careful, though. He's been booked for the last couple of times for a bit of dissent, and although you do get wrapped up in the game, Paul's got to be very careful because referees in Italy are only too quick to start flashing yellow cards around, and to get one for dissent is not really the best way to get one.
The Milan do play this offside game, and it's a dangerous one today with the pace of Signori and Boxic, and Gaza making those runs through as well. I think we might be in for one or two marginal decisions. We've had a couple already.
We certainly have, and I think we are. You're quite right, Peter. Going to be in for a number of them, and you know, let's hope one or two of them are allowed to go on and we see a few goals, because we do definitely have a super attacking force in Lazio against a really super defensive unit in Milan.
Won by Desai. Negro, out-jumping Papan. Sent in well at the back this season, Negro, after a spell out through injury. Referee Beskin wants the kick taken from a different place.
I think he wants to get involved, the referee. That looked a perfectly good challenge. Two guys jumping for the ball and no one come to any harm. I just think the referee feels it's about time that he intervened.
You've got to think about referees, haven't you?
I like them.
Wear the wrong colour kit.
And they definitely wear the wrong colour kit. Not in Italy, though, right?
We haven't got time to talk about that. But Costa Curta with a free kick. Whacked away by Cavero. Tassotti. And Boxic show that he's prepared to work, as well as chase through the middle and show his talents and his skills. They're really fired up for this one today, Lazio. No question about that. No one more so than this man, Paul Gascoigne. Won by Di Matteo. Boxic, who felt he was held back by Costa Curta, and then launched at it.
He did well from there, Costa Curta. A bit of a rash old challenger from Boxic, and Costa Curta could have played on that a lot more, as we've seen a lot of Italian defenders do, but got up straight away. Give him a little cuddle and it's all okay.
Boxic clearly felt he should have had a free kick just seconds before that. Now Gascoigne. Dassay again is with him. Touched off there by Victor. Gascoigne again. Very tight though.
Yes, I think that little word we saw Capello have with Boban was to make sure that someone gets in and around Paul every time he's got the ball. He has been running the game for the opening 15 minutes, but now I think you'll see that every time he receives the ball, he'll be put under a little bit more pressure.
Tassotti for Milan. Papin. Couldn't outmaneuver Negro, but the referee has given the corner. After a quick look across to the linesman.
He had a point, Negro, didn't he?
Yeah.
It did appear to bounce off of the side of Papin before leaving the playing surface.
Boban will take the corner. Maldini's always a threat in the air. Not this time, though. Oxic away, only as far as Albertini. Baresi to pump it back again. No offside, Aranio. And this time it is a goal kick.
That's the second or third time a little bit of communication between the Milan players has gone awry. It was Boban there alongside Aranio, and they just seem to get in each other's way a little bit.
Fuser. Gascoigne. On by Favali. Well then by Negro on Papin. Negro, the former Brescia player, just 21 years old. And he was climbing all over Papin. Well, there's a break in play here. Some more thoughts from Liam Brady. Liam, how do you see it shaping up now?
Well, I think the game's just slipping away a little bit from Lazio because of the referee and linesman. We've had two very, very marginal decisions that have gone Milan's way. We have Baresi body check Bosic on the halfway line. He could have gone through. And I think the referee is stopping Lazio in their tracks, really.
Fair enough. Now, Maldini. Here's Boban. Turn well. Down goes Signori. Bayon says the referee. He was only a couple of yards away. Not disturbed by Maldini's tackle. This is Maldini now. Slipped though by Boban, and Signori on the break for Lazio. Gascoigne to come to collect, but he's chosen to go for the long ball instead, which didn't give Di Matteo too much chance.
Yeah, rather given away, Peter. I don't think you're going to catch Milan on a break from that sort of area, and he'd have been more advised, I would have thought, as Paul tried to get the ball off him and continue to play and retain possession. It's been a super game up to now, but unfortunately, once again, we've not seen too many balls whipped across the face of the goal or too many goal mouth incidents, and I think that's the only thing that's lacking at the moment. We had that great run from Paul, but I think apart from that, we really haven't had too much to crow about as far as balls being put into the penalty area and into the danger area.
Tassotti with the free kick, swept on by Baresi. Only partially won by Bacci. Now it's Papin trying to whip the ball across, and he's forced the corner. They certainly hadn't been anything like as prolific in front of goal, Milan, this season. The last campaign they were joint top scorers along with Lazio. But any side, of course, would miss Van Basten. Marcagiani and Massaro over the bar. It was a rather tame fist out then by the goalkeeper.
I think he'd be first to admit it was poor goalkeeping. He had one guy in front of him, but I think Marcagiani would have been more advised to catch that. It came at a good height, and in the finish he ended up flapping at it. I think going back to Milan, Peter, I think that the loss of the three Dutchmen has been an enormous blow to them. Obviously Van Basten's been injured, Hulick's moved to Sampdoria, and Rijkaard's gone back to Ajax, but I think those three just complemented the whole of the Milan side, and I think it's been an enormous loss, and I think it will take a bit of time to recuperate that exciting type of football that we're used to seeing them play. At the moment, as Liam said, they're extremely resilient. No one can score goals against them, but they're having a little bit more difficulty going forward and scoring goals themselves.
8 games, remember, before they last conceded a goal in Serie A Milan. The defence masterminded by Baresi. I keep reading that he's slowing up, Baresi, but there aren't too many signs of that, and he makes up for it anyway with his anticipation, his reading of the game.
Well, I think you've hit it right on the head there, Peter. He's OK, his legs may slow up, but his brain works doubly fast. And that's where the first 2 yards come from, in the head. And Baresi thinks very, very quickly.
Here's Baresi now. Albertini to Tassotti. Followed up by the veteran defender, and Massaro was just offside. Massaro, who's hit a rich vein of form in recent weeks. He's got 3 goals in the last 4. And indeed, he's the top scorer for Milan this season with just 6. Winter, half an hour gone. No goals. Gascoigne sliding it on to Winter, then to Signori. Now he's given it away. It's careless then, Signori. Gascoigne has it back again. Baresi. Here's Massaro. Now Albertini. Vital cog in the Milan machine, Albertini. Such a smooth player in midfield. And there's Costa Curta to steer it back. Rossi rather aimlessly upfield. Desai under pressure from Di Matteo. And the referee thought too much pressure. Baresi. Good distribution to Papan. Now Desai. Riding the tackle well. Papan. Down for Massaro. And Negro away. Good saving header too before that from Bacci. Now Fuzer. Rampaging down the right. On for Winter. And a foul by Baresi when he went for the ball and he caught the man.
I think he did catch the man as well, Peter. The ball comes in, the ball is there to be won. Yeah, I think in this country we would say, yeah, super tackle, well, you know, well covered. But in Italy, you just don't get away with that sort of thing. It was a bit of an old cruncher, wasn't it?
I think he was making sure if he didn't get the ball, he would have got the man.
I think you're dead right.
Gascoigne. And for once, his distribution lets him down, but his range of passing certainly impressed Terry Venables last week. New England coach, of course, was watching Gaza play for Lazio in their home spanking of Cagliari. Gaza scored and called the shots as well. Here he is now. Another strong, forceful run till he was upended. He's furious at the tackle. And this is where he's got to calm down.
Yeah, Signori did well for him there. He's getting himself a little bit on edge there, is Paul. And yeah, it was a bad tackle. But it's something that he probably will come to expect. It's a great run. Look at the strength of the guy, look. And he is upended, and he ends up stumbling into Tassotti or Baresi. And he wasn't too happy, and quite rightly so, but he should keep his cool just a little bit more, because it is a very volatile atmosphere, and the referee will give him a yellow card for next to nothing.
So both Baresi and Costa Curta, the 2 central defenders for Milan, have now been cautioned. A real opportunity this for Lazio. Signori hovering around the ball. Fuzer, we know, is dangerous from long range as well. Gaza not taking any part in this. Maybe still a little winded from his exploits a moment or so ago. Here is Signori to fire it through! And somehow it just worked wide.
Really is the most fantastic save from Rossi. He's got his line like a shot to narrow that angle down. The ball comes through and gets a little skip in front of him, but Rossi did exceptionally well to get a hand to it. It's another good strike from Signori.
Fuzer. An escape then for the league leaders and champions. Bacci.
Yeah, here we see it once again. They blocked off Baresi very well as he's coming to meet it, but that's a great save. The ball just takes a little bounce in front of Rossi, but he gets a very strong hand and pushes it around the upright. Super stop.
Well, there's certainly a school of thought now that Rossi should be in contention for a World Cup place for Italy, and he is underlining his qualities already in this game.
He does, and I'll give it to him for his concentration, Peter, because a lot of the time when he's playing with Milan, he doesn't have to touch the ball for long, long periods, and then he's called upon to make such an excellent save as that, and he's been doing that all season, and full credit to him. He's been quite exceptional.
Now Signori, Boksic up in support. Signori's shot. Rossi felt he had to make a save, and what a good tackle that was then by Maldini. Perfectly timed on Fuser.
Well, if there's a better fullback in the world, I've not seen him. Maldini looks absolutely in a class of his own. It was a wonderful tackle. Good awareness as well. He was off like a shot because he knew someone was coming around the back. Another good stop from Rossi, but it's nice to see from Lazio. Good ball in from Paul Gascoigne to Signori, who took it on his own. A good run from Boksic, but decided to shoot himself, and it was a good stop from Rossi.
Lazio raising their game on notch or two to extend Milan at the back. Rossi to the rescue on 2 occasions now. I felt maybe the shot from Signori was going wide, but Rossi wasn't too sure, and thought he had to make the save anyway.
I thought he was right there, Peter, as well. I thought it was going wide, but it's better safe than sorry, and Rossi got a good hand to it.
De Sotti's throw. Sneaking out Papin. So too, though, was Favalli. Papin with just 4 goals in Serie A this season. 13 in the last campaign. But he has had problems with injuries during the season. Gascoigne now, again showing his strength, his resilience there to shake off Boban. I think he caught him in the face in the process. Desai. Now Massaro. His touch wasn't a true one though. Di Matteo spreads it wide to Fuser. Now Victor. As Lazio come rolling forward again. Still Victor. Continually stumbling, and how he kept his feet then. Boksic. And the referee unhappy with the tackle by Tassotti.
Yeah, that's a bad decision. Yeah. Tassotti actually, he read that very well. His anticipation of Boksic running past him was very good, and I think that's a poor decision from the referee. Tassotti defended well.
So more danger for Milan to contend with. Gascoigne with a tie-up problem. Leaving the free kick, though, to Signori. Gascoigne was in there, and also Negro.
The super ball in, wasn't it? It was really a whipped in from Signori. And Negro was a little unfortunate. There's a lot of players, they probably got bumped around a little bit and couldn't actually direct the header. But we are seeing a very impressive Lazio side. Defensively, for once, they look very solid. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but they look very, very solid. And I'm sure if they get this solid platform, then they can go on and score goals and have the confidence to get forward and score goals. And with the likes of Gascoigne and Boksic and Signori up front, they've got every chance.
Certainly dictating this first half, Lazio. Parma were in charge at home to Foggia, but they've got one back now. It's Foggia 1, Parma 2, and it's Capellini, the scorer for Foggia. Rossi, who's a game and a half away from breaking the record in terms of not conceding a goal. A couple of near things so far in this first half. Albertini now. Given away to Signori. That's asking a lot of Boksic. Baresi, though, didn't look happy. Terrific burst of speed again by Boksic. And a good recovery by Baresi. But my word, he showed acceleration there, Boxic.
Yeah, he showed remarkable acceleration. No, Baresi, I think you got it quite right, Chris. Didn't look happy at all racing against him, and if he doesn't feel comfortable, then the rest of us haven't got much chance, mate. That's quite right, Peter.
Hit by Gascoigne, and that's a foul by Boxic, who's using his arms for some extra leverage.
He does look an impressive player, though, doesn't he? Very, very willing player. He makes some great forward runs. Very, very tall man, but his feet are exceptional. He's got tremendous feet, and he really is. It's a pleasure for us to be able to see him play, because he has joined halfway through the season. It's nice that he's joined the Italian football.
Because they hadn't expected to have his services to the end of the season, so it's been a real bonus. His move from Marseille for some £7 million back in November. Di Matteo. Won by Favali, who was crunched. There's Gascoigne. Again revealing his resilience. Who's there to Gascoigne. Put it on to Signori. As we move into the last 5 minutes of the first half, it's another free kick to Lazio.
I think we're seeing a great range of passing from Paul this afternoon. His first touch is exceptional. His long passing's good. His disguise on the pass is the thing that's getting him by. He really is disguising the ball very well.
That's his free kick now.
Always happens, doesn't it? Yeah. Always happens. To talk how good he's passing, what does he do? Gives it straight to Milan player. It's marvellous, isn't it, this game?
Favali, there's Baresi, flags up for offside. Furious protest from Signori. What a front to Boxic and Signori. And it really does take a defence of Milan standing to cope with them. Wouldn't like to meet those two in the league every week, Ray, would you?
No, you certainly wouldn't, Peter. No, they are very, very impressive indeed.
Maldini. I mentioned there earlier on Terry Venables, and you've got some more news on your future role with England's setup.
Yes, thankfully Jerry and Chair Mr Thompson have allowed me to go on the first trip with the Denmark game with the under-21, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. It looks a really exciting outfit and a really exciting team, and I'm really looking forward to it. Should be great.
Well, I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
And also, of course, Don Howe's going to be involved. Don, who's often with us on a Sunday. Encouraging signs for the future for England. You did mean England, not the Danish under-21s, didn't you? Yeah. 3 minutes of the first half to go. Desai for Milan. Had to soak up a fair bit of pressure, but then they're used to doing that. Pagnotti, the president of Lazio, hoping his team can overcome Milan today to lift their title chances. They haven't won the Scudetto since 1974, their only success.
As an attacking force, Milan have been, we've got to say, not very good at all. They really haven't created anything. Marcogiani hasn't had to make a save. There's Lentini sitting there. Be nice to see him get involved. With Filippo Gali there yawning his head off. I hope he's not called upon too early. No, but as an attacking force, basically zero Milan, and they've had to do a lot of defending. They're defending very well. But we're used to seeing a lot more attacking ideas from this outfit, and it's a little bit disappointing when they don't create as many chances as we used to see.
Well, maybe a goal for Lazio might change their thinking. Desai. Now Maldini. Maybe lining up a shot, instead sliding it on in search of Boban.
He got himself in two minds, Maldini, then he got himself into a great position. I think he was looking for a little give and go off somebody, but there was no one forming the wall for him, so he could bounce it off them. And in the finish, he tried a very intricate pass to Boban, which was never really on.
Well, one of the other big games today is, of course, the Turin derby, and there's a setback there for Juventus. Andreas Möller, their German international, has been sent off. No goals, Torino 0, Juventus 0, but Juve down to 10 men. Maldini for Milan, now Baresi. Into the last minute of the first half, it's Fuser. Negro. On by Bacci. Now Di Matteo, this is Boksic. There's a promising build-up. Cavalli and a tentative pass at the end of it. Just when it seemed they might be opening up Milan. Cavalli, the captain of the Italian under-21 side. Signori is shown for him, and off to Sotti. The corner as the interval approaches. What a fillip it would be for Lazio to score now. Boksic. Can't shake off Maldini, though. And it's a goal kick to Milan. Again, good solid defending by Maldini.
Yeah, I think if there's one person that can cope with the pace of Boksic, then it will be Maldini. Look, he doesn't touch him. He doesn't want to get near him, doesn't want to pull him down, doesn't let him know where he is, and then Boksic ends up kicking it off the field himself. Really excellent defending from Maldini.
And we were marvelling before the game, Ray. He's 25 and he's won his 49th cap already.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? And I'm sure if he continues in this vein, he's got every chance, as our friend Ray says, that he could go past Dino's Austria record of 112.
It's Ray, our statistician.
I couldn't get that word out, Peter, otherwise I'd have said that.
You think you'd be able to say your own name properly, Ray, but still. There you are. Baresi. Now to Sotti. Now Cavalli. The back clearance, so straight to Desai. Not the best of service from him to Massaro. Deep into injury time. Marchigiani, who hasn't had too much to do in the first half, the Lazio goalkeeper. Just that one flap, really, that gave his fellow defenders a bit of a scare. Boban. Albertini. It's a quality pass. Boban. Right off to Papan. Now Iranio. Off the bar. Massaro. Milan, on the stroke of half-time, have snatched the lead. Well, they've had to defend for most of this first 45 minutes. And then right out of the blue, they have stunned Lazio with Massaro's 7th of the season.
It's amazing, isn't it? We're very fortunate today to have with us Massimo Mauro, who's with us. And we were talking about before the game how fortunate Massaro is as a player. He says every time a ball bounces off a post or a crossbar, it drops right to Massaro's head or foot, and there it goes, just in the back of the net. That's the first thing Milan have done. They actually carved them open. Iranio got in a half cross, come block on with the defender, and there's Massaro just bumping it off the far post.
Yes, the same thing happened a couple of weeks ago in this same stadium against Roma, when the ball came back off a post and Massaro was there to guide it in.
I'm inclined to think it's not luck and it's more anticipation, but I must go along with our friend Kevin Gallen at our place. Milan have been a little bit lucky, Kevin.
Getting a lot of mentions today, Kevin Gallen. But a real setback that for Lazio. And they must be very, very disappointed. Having dominated for long periods and certainly stretched Milan on occasions, they now find themselves at half-time trailing by a 1-0. The goal from Massaro deep into injury time. Half-time in the Olympic Stadium, it's Lazio 0, Milan the leaders 1.
Back to the Stadio Olimpico, 1-0, of course, the score between Lazio and Milan. It's always the way with Milan, isn't it, Liam? They do nothing all half, and then Massaro nips through, always him as well, and nips one in, and then they're home free.
Well, we've seen it all before, as you say, James, but there really is a stunned silence here in the stadium because Lazio have looked the part. They've dominated the game. They've looked very dangerous on occasions, especially when they've got the ball to Boksic. Gascoigne for the first 20 minutes was running the show. But as you said, we've seen it all before. They've soaked up the pressure, and they've got a killer goal just on the stroke of half-time. And it's an awful bad time to lose a goal. Any footballer will tell you that.
Well, obviously, not all hope is lost for Lazio. They still have their three potent men up front, Boksic, Signori and Gascoigne. Gascoigne, of course, in devastating form at the start, skipping merrily through the Milan defence as though, well, I mean, they're the best-rated defence in Europe, defence rather, I should say, in Europe, and yet there he was wandering carefree through them.
Yeah, he looked very sharp, but I think Ray pointed it out that Capello had a little word with Boban out on the left wing, and he's asked him to tuck in. So Albertini and Desailly have been getting a little bit closer to Gascoigne, and he wasn't nearly as effective in the last 15 minutes as he had been in the previous half hour. But I really feel if they can get the ball to Boksic, he looks the part. He really is a tremendous player, tremendous pace, and he's given Baresi a real hard time of him. We don't see many players give Baresi a hard time.
In fact, at the start you were talking about Desailly and Gascoigne being one of the matchups to watch. Baresi and Boksic have been well, two of this pair that have been really squaring off in this first half.
Equally as good. And we must remember Baresi has a yellow card, so he's got to be very, very careful. This match is far from over.
Okay. One last thing. On the goal that Milan got from Massaro's header, you didn't feel that Marcogiani was particularly at fault. A lot of the stadium weren't quite in agreement with you there.
Well, I haven't had the chance to see a replay, but it looked to me as if it was a rather fluke goal. It looked to me as if it was a block tackle with Aranio, and the ball's lobbed over Marcogiani and left him helpless.
Well, Lazio will be hoping to redress the balance anyway, and more so besides, I shouldn't wonder, in this second half. So let's go across now to our commentators to see what happens. Ray Wilkins, as ever, with Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James. All set then for the second half, and Paul Gascoigne was the first man out. He can't wait to get started again, and he certainly began the first half with a real flourish, some lazy dribbles. But then they shut him down more as the half wore on. And it was a good tactical spot by Capello, the coach of Milan, seeing the influence that Paul Gascoigne was having. We're just looking right at the options on the bench. Of course, Casiraghi is among the substitutes for Lazio today.
Yes, he's one of our favourites, Pedro, isn't he? He does give any side that he plays in an extra option. There we see Simone coming on as a substitute for Milan. He's an exceptional player, Simone. He's great to watch. But going back to Casiraghi, he gives him that extra option. If the ball's placed in the box, you've always got a great heading power, because he really does have a terrific ability with his head to score goals, and that is one option that Lazio have.
And the switch made by Capello is to bring on Simone for Papan. Papan, who, remember, had been doubtful during the week and indeed missed the international match because of injury, so maybe it's a recurrence of that. Certainly didn't look at his sharpest in the first half, Papan.
No, he certainly didn't, Peter, and obviously being out for 3 weeks doesn't help. Simone, on the other hand, will be itching to get going, and he's a really super little player, Simone. And it'd be nice to see how he fares up against this, which has been a very tight Lazio defence up until that last minute of the first half.
Simone, who scored the winner for Milan last week against Cremonese. Another Italian international, Simone, although he's had a lot of problems with injuries over the past couple of seasons. On by Boban to Albertini. Profero with a brave header out. There's Boban fighting for it now. Simone did well to get a shot in then.
He did very well, Peter. He's very similar to Papan. When he actually gets that shooting opportunity, he takes it very early, which gives the goalkeeper not too much time to get out and narrow the angle.
Favali. This is Boksic. Now Vinter. Negro with the pass, but asking too much of Favali. Desailly. Laid off then by Simone to Desailly again, showing his strength. It's been an unfamiliar role for Desailly in the heart of the midfield. for Milan since he's moved from Marseille, but he's slotted in extremely well.
I think it's just credit to his technique, Peter, really. He stepped up from that defensive position. He doesn't look out of place, he looks super, and he really does have a nice technique with the ball. A very powerful man.
Albertini. Massaro, as ever, a willing runner. Good covering though by Fuser. Vinter hasn't really stacked his authority on the game again, Vinter. Rather subdued this season, as I was saying earlier on. Di Matteo. Clumsy pass, though.
There's Filippo Gali near his camera, and Roberto Donadoni, who's one player that really could brighten up a Milan as an attacking force. He really is a player of exceptional ability, and I often wonder why he doesn't play more often. He really is a super player, and one of great inventiveness. And that, if anything, when we look at this Milan side at the moment, they do lack a little bit of that. They appear to be having one shot and scoring a goal, and that's not what we're used to seeing from Milan.
Di Matteo. This is Favalli. Impeded by Eranio. Too long for Massaro. And bowled out by Makashiani to Fuser. So anxious to impress against his former club. One of the many internationals on view today. Here's another one, Signori. Now Gascoigne. Well read by Costa Curta. Not too much has got past him this afternoon. Fuser in for Vinter. But failing to get the better of Desai. Machi who'd come across. Fuser. All rather congested. Now Gascoigne. Buzz around the stadium whenever Gaza has the ball. Backs up against Boksic. Oh, the crowd don't like it. But again, it was a perfectly sprung offside trap by Milan. They've worked it so well down the years.
Yes, it was. It was perfectly played by Milan. I think if the replay comes up, you'll see Boksic in an offside position. The thing they do very well, Milan, is that they get the midfield players and the defenders back. There's only a gap of, 10 yards maximum between them. It becomes very difficult for players to pass the ball in between that sort of distance, and they do it exceptionally well.
Desotti. Desai. Shrugging off Gascoigne's challenge. On then by Albertini to Maldini. They know each other's game so well, these Milan players. Albertini, at 22, already he's featured in 2 championship sides. Simone, excellent pass. Now to Sotti. We've got 4 in the box. Boban lost it though. Di Matteo to Signori.
That was pretty dreadful stuff from Mauro Tassotti. Milan have played some great football there, retaining possession, got him in a great position on the edge of the box, and he only had to whip it in. But he elected to play it out, I think it was to Simone on the edge of the box, but made a complete and utter fluff of it. He'd have been much better off than whipping the cross in there. That's where the danger area is.
Horacia's made a run through. This is Simone with Negro. Now Fuser. Confronted by Baresi, who was struggling to get back. Baresi, who made a rare mistake to give France their goal in the week in the international. This is Massaro now. Boban. The tackle by Cavero. Massaro. Lazio now struggling to get it away. Pino's off. With plenty to concern him. Costa Curta almost nonchalantly riding the tackle of Signori, who has been carrying a thigh injury, which meant him pulling out of the international in the week.
Brilliant goalkeeping from Marchigiani, that was. That was a good ball from Albertini, spotting the run of Massaro. And who's standing in the corner of box? Marchigiani, really good goalkeeping. He's very sharp and alert, is Marchigiani.
Certainly deceived by the deflection for the goal, Marchigiani, which had him scampering back. And there was Massaro to pounce on the rebound off the bar.
Yeah, he didn't really have a chance, Peter, to do it. It went very, very high over his head, and he didn't really have a chance of getting back to it.
Di Matteo, one of Lazio's successes this season, Di Matteo. After his move from Aarau in Switzerland. Juventus down to 10 men in the Turin derby, but they've taken the lead now. A goal from Roberto Baggio. His 14th of the season, so it's Torino trailing Juventus by 1-0. Möller having been sent off in the first half. Baggio now the top scorer in the Serie A. Massaro. Here's Aranio, who played his part in the goal. Now Desai. Maldini. Away by Crivero. Boksic. Costa Curta sticking so tightly to him. And the referee's given the free kick to Lazio.
Yeah, I think as soon as the ball went past Costa Curta, there was no way he was going to allow Boksic to run him, because he really does have tremendous pace, and he'd leave Costa Curta with no problem, I would have thought.
Gascoigne. Crivero. Miss kick really by Di Matteo. He's got away with it though. Here's Gascoigne again. Looking for Boksic. Baresi was the covering defender. Now Fuser. Lazio still finding this Milan defence so hard to perforate. Gascoigne couldn't get away from Massaro cleanly though. Referee allowing play to go on, to the chagrin now, I think, of Gascoigne. Now Fuser, they can start again. Such commendable anticipation at the back by Milan. So often they read potentially dangerous situations. Now Albertini. Desai. The Lazio fans doing their best to lift their team. A goal down. This is Tassotti. Dangerous ball, and well dealt with by Marchigiani. Tassotti, who hasn't scored for some 4 seasons or so now.
He'd love to score one against his old team as well, Peter. Tassotti being an ex-Lazio player, it would be nice if he could have notched one there, but he stepped into the side very nicely in place of Panucci. Panucci really is an exciting prospect, but Tassotti, with all his experience, has just come in and done a very commendable job.
Foul on Boksic, who'd been found superbly by Gascoigne.
Yes, it was an excellent ball in, and holding off Baresi very well with his body strength. Franco had to pull him down in the finish.
We've said it before, he's a marvellous defender, Baresi, but he's a cynical one as well.
He certainly is.
So Lazio hoping to test the qualities of Rossi here. Signori hovering over the ball. Away by Desai. Baresi stayed back, there was no offside, and the foot was high then from Signori as Baresi leant into it.
Fantastic facial expression, wasn't it? How dare you do that to me?
Here's Signori with the corner. The towering figure of Rossi claims it in the end, but he'd stay back on the cross.
Oh, I can't believe he's doing that. I really can't, Peter. Vinter has actually clashed with him, yeah, and he might have winded him slightly, but I can't really see where the old histrionics need to come out. This is ridiculous. he claimed it so comfortably.
And the Lazio fans showing what they thought of it.
Well, he's a big lump as well, isn't he? He must be standing 6'3". Yeah, we see him take the ball. Look at that. I can't really see where Vinta's hurt him there, and he just boots the ball out of play. I can't see that for the life of me.
Well, Liam Brady watching the match with us. Can you see any encouraging signs for Lazio at this stage?
The introduction of Simone, Milan actually looked better in this half. They looked quicker and sharper, and really Lazio a little bit demoralised.
Well, Rossi now seems to be okay. Albertini. Milan free kick. Iranio. Milan, remember, with just one defeat in Serie A this season. Gascoigne getting in trouble again.
That's the best outcome, though. Just pat him on the back and accept the decision and get on with it.
Another free kick and Iranio goes down.
They're getting extremely frustrated now, Lazio. I think Liam hit it on the head. They look a bit disheartened, and they're getting a little bit frustrated. They can't break this Milan side down. And Milan as a workforce, as a team, play exceptionally well together. They work very hard together.
Simone.
And therefore it becomes increasingly more difficult for sides to break them down, especially when they get the ascendancy and they go one up, as they have done in the last minute of the first half.
That one defeat that I was mentioning, of course, was against Sampdoria, when they came back to win 3-2. David Platt's side. Rossi wasn't in goal that day for Milan, the one that he's missed. On by Albertini. Simone looked to have been impeded there by Bacci. The referee said no. Fuzer on for Vinta. Now can he service Boksic in the middle from here? Here is Boksic. Good turn, and it very nearly squirmed under the body of Rossi.
I think he saved it with his left foot, Peter, actually, as it's a great turn from Boksic. There we see the ball coming in from Vinta. Look at the first touch as he drags it round. Nice first touch, keeps it, gets his body in between the ball and the player, and I think it's his left foot that just saves it there, Rossi, by the foot of the post.
Di Matteo. Boban, the Milan player, reckons his fellow Croatian Boksic is just about the best striker in the world at the moment, and there'll be some support for that. There's Fuzer. Rossi lost it. Oh, and away by Iranio at the finish.
That was brilliant football. It was a great ball from Paul, picking out Fuzer on the right-hand side. He took one touch, Fuzer, whipped it across the face of the goal, and it was a hell of a ball. And Rossi's done well, actually, to get his hand to the ball.
Now this is more like it from Lazio. Out by Costa Curta. Then Simone. Here's Iranio. It's a great ball from Iranio. Simone. Bacci snapping back at him. Still Simone. That's a good tackle.
That was a great contest, wasn't it? Good football. Great play from Iranio down the line. Super footwork. And that was a nice little contest down the right-hand side between Simone and Bacci.
The Lazio players complaining of time wasting by Milan. They're certainly in no hurry to take the throw. So often they've had slender victories this season, Milan. They've yet to score more than 2 in any game. Just a 1 at the moment, dividing the two teams. Scored by Massaro in first half injury time. It's Gascoigne for Lazio. On for Vinta. Sloppy control, though. Certainly isn't playing with the same confidence that he showed last season, Vinta. When he was unquestionably one of Lazio's best players, certainly the best overseas player in the side. Di Matteo trying to thread it on to Boksic, who'd made the run for him. Iranio. Massaro had got forward, and I think if the pass had been played towards him, he would have been offside anyway. But now here's Victor. Finding Fuser. Milan, though, defends so well as a unit. Baresi helping out Maldini. Down goes Boban. Free kick to Milan.
That's a good example for youngsters watching there, the control of Boban and the way he got his body. There's the ball from Baresi coming down the line. He knows he's going to be tackled. Look at him. He keeps his body between the ball and the opposition. And all Vinter can do is pull him down, but that was good technique from Boban.
That's the foul count so far. Problem for Boban. I think he's going to be okay, though. Certainly started the season very briskly when he had a decent run in the side. Then injury kept him out for a bit, and he's hoping to bounce back again.
But imagine you don't get injured in this squad, the Milan squad, because you never get back in the team. It's an awful situation to be in. When you think you pick up an injury, you don't get another game for 6 months.
Brave challenge by Di Matteo. Certainly appreciated by the crowd. Very wholehearted player, Di Matteo. Wasn't the best of crosses, though. Here's Gascoigne. Lazio will look to get Gazza involved as much as they can. Here's Boksic. Didn't find Signori.
No, it was a good little run from Signori. Made a nice angle, started moving into the goal, then made a super little angle. But it was a tight angle, and Boksic was just unable to screw the ball back to him on his left side.
Here's Gascoigne. Away, though, by Tassotti. Favero with the header. Favero making his 200th Serie A appearance today. Vinter. Now Signori on for Vinter. Offside. Offside.
Yeah, they held the line well there, Milan, let him run offside, Vinter. It's encouraging. The last couple of minutes, Lazio have had a couple of chances. They've got themselves back in it. They looked a bit despondent early on in the second half. They seem to have clawed themselves back, got their act together, and they're causing a few problems for Milan. Here we see Casiraghi tying his boots. Is it time for the entry of what is an exceptional centre-forward to give Milan more problems?
First choice for Italy, Casiraghi, but not for Lazio. Former Juventus player. Here's Fuser. Looking for Boksic. Maldini holding him off. And holding him off illegally.
I thought it was the other way, actually. Maldini defended well there, I thought, and Boksic pulled him back. But this is an interesting situation. Very interesting to note the angle of approach from Fuser here, the way he's going to take this free kick and whip it round, whip his foot round it, and put an enormous curl on it.
Boksic couldn't get his header in cleanly. Here's Gascoigne. Favalli. Vinter's shot charged down. Di Matteo. And safely through to Rossi. Just hearing that Torino have equalised in the Turin derby against Juventus. Fortunato, the scorer. And in the Inter match against Napoli, Inter nil, Napoli nil, Fontalan of Inter has been sent off. And Foggia have equalised against Parma. That's now 2-2. Kolivanov with the second goal there for Foggia. So it's all going Milan's way, really, at the moment. Remember, they start this game 5 points clear of Juventus in second place, and Parma also on 31, Milan with 36. Juventus and Parma 31, Sampdoria 30. They play tonight against Atalanta, and Lazio back in 5th place on 29. Rivero. That's a foul on Favali. Casiraghi still waiting to make his entrance. May not be too far away now. Signori taking the kick. Gascoigne in there jostling. And a yellow card for Eranio. That's the 3rd caution. I'll make that for Milan so far. Costa Curta, Baresi. The first 2. Signori then with the free kick. Moksic was lurking, but couldn't make contact. Here's Winter. Fuser. Lazio faced by a packed Milan defence, streaming out now. Desai. Forward by Bacci. Winter!
What a tackle from Baresi there, Peter. He was just about to blast. That was Winter. And that was Baresi reading the situation really well, coming across with a last-ditch tackle. A great tackle.
Signori's corner. Rossi just plucked it out of the air. He needed to hold on for 19 minutes today to beat Mario da Pozzo's time of 791 minutes without conceding a goal, so he's gone past that. He's now inside of Dino Zoff's 903. Ray's trying to work it out. That's around 10 games.
I'd already sussed it out, Peter. I was waiting for you to say, but you never mentioned it, so... Oh.
Now keep out of it, Gaza. That's Desai involved with him.
Obviously something said here, because Desai, once he's on the floor, gets up and isn't very happy with...
Tassotti had a whack at Gascoigne as well there. Tell you what, he showed some resilience to hold off Desai. He was a burly figure. There's Signori, out by Costa Curta. Milan come pouring out, and Signori can't reach it.
That is one of Gaz's major strengths, is his body strength, Peter. He really is a strong guy, and when these defenders try and whack into him, they just bounce off him. He's got tremendous upper body strength.
13 goals, Signori, in those 13 matches. Desperately, Lazio need another one from him today. Down goes Di Matteo. No offence, though, seen by the referee. It's Massaro. And here's the danger of the counter-attack by Milan. Led by Eranio. Broken up by Fuser, then.
They've been guilty of that a lot, Milan. They've got themselves in good areas, and their final ball's been quite atrocious, and that was no exception from Eranio.
Fuser now. Gascoigne. Spotted Fuser's run. Good vision shown by Gaza. Away by Maldini, so coolly into the path of Boban. And offside against Massaro. Now Casiraghi is about to come on. I think it may be Fuser who's the player about to be replaced. Indeed it is, the number 7 being held up there. What do you think about that substitution, Ray?
Well, I actually thought Fuser was the one player, and I think he's a little bit disappointed, actually, by looking at him. He's the one player that was actually attempting to get behind the Milan defence and actually whip a few balls in pretty early. And they've actually taken him off and put a guy on that he could have given the service to. And I would go along with Fuser and be a little bit disappointed at that.
Gascoigne. This is Desai. Liam Brady, is that a substitution you would have made then?
Not really. I agree with Ray. I think that he has been putting good service in. I'll just go back to here, Peter, because it's a dangerous situation.
Albertini and Simone. The dangerous pass, Liam, you were saying?
Yeah, he's putting some good balls into the box. Lazio needs some inspiration and not getting it at the moment from Boksic or from Signori. Signori's been disappointing. He didn't play for Italy during the week. I'm just wondering if he's still carrying that injury. Perhaps it could have been him to come off.
Thanks, Liam. Yes, Signori certainly has been carrying that injury, but he was determined to play this afternoon. Casiraghi, of course, is so strong in the air, so he needs the right kind of service. Lazio will hope to provide that down the flank, so maybe this is a surprise indeed that Fuseo's gone off.
Yes, I am a bit surprised. It really is a time that they should be getting good ball into the box. They've just brought on possibly one of the best attacking headers of the ball in Italian football, and they've got no one now that's going to put the ball in there for him.
Dino's off, anxiously urging his team forward. Gascoigne crunching into the tackle. He's certainly had his moments, Paul Gascoigne, in this game, but he's drifted in and out a little bit, right?
He has drifted in and out again, but I think that was Donadoni coming on now. I think Massaro was feeling something early on. He seemed to glance across, and it could well be Massaro that's coming off. But it's nice to see Donadoni get a game. Yeah, going back to Gazza, Peter, I thought he really has had his moments, but Desai has decided to get closer to him, and he's made it very difficult for him because they're both on similar levels strength-wise, and when Paul dominates someone with his strength, he normally runs the game and overpowers it, and he's struggling with something. He's not at all happy.
He's certainly pulled up now as Paul Gascoigne. There's Favalli to deliver the cross to Boksic. 3 Lazio players converging on the cross, and the header from Boksic flashed right across the face of the goal.
I think it was right on Casiraghi's head here, and Boksic just takes it off. Now Casiraghi's second in line. He still had to dive because he committed to the cross, but yeah, that was right on his head, and I think with his ability he would have put that one away. But it's not very pleasant to see Paul limping around like that. He looks in a great deal of distress.
Tassotti. Here's Donadoni. Not a bad man to have in reserve. Still Donadoni, seeking his first goal of the campaign, the Italian international. And in Capello's mind, not good enough to start this one. But he's been a great servant to Milan down the years, Donadoni, and still very much a part of the national team setup as well. Di Matteo prodding it on to Favalli. As we move into the last quarter of an hour, still Massaro's goal separating the two sides. Boksic. Again, the crowded Milan defence does its job effectively.
I couldn't see why he did that, Peter. As good a player he is, he had Paul outside him on his left-hand side, and he only had to roll the ball to him, but elected to take them all on. I couldn't really see the sense in that.
No challenge on Negro. Flicked on then by Vinter to Casiraghi. Negro, Signori. Gascoigne still limping. Foul by, or rather, by Boksic. For a moment, going the other way.
Again, I can't see why Signori's doing this, Peter. He's picking the ball up on the right-hand side, and that's about the third on the spin that he's tried to hit out to the left-hand side of the field, and he would be far better off retaining possession, getting further up the field, and hopefully they'd be in a position to prize the Milan defence open. But whilst the ball's being played in front of them like that, they'd be pretty comfortable.
Desai to Boban. Albertini. This is Maldini. Simone. Now Donadoni. Possession football by Milan. Simone taking on Bacci, and Mapipiani with his body right behind the cross.
It was a shame, actually. It was good football from Milan, a good ball from Donadoni to Simone, but there was no one up there supporting him in the box. It rather does go to show that Milan will be pretty happy to just hang on to the one goal.
Miranio to Donadoni. On by Tassotti, Eranio. Milan threatening again. Not too much support though for those two attackers. One of them, Eranio, a player now injured. Winter for Lazio. Not too often they fail to score, but then not too often do they meet a team of Milan's defensive capabilities. Di Matteo. Gascoigne with some space here. Away from Desai so easily. Favalli. Casiraghi. It's a poor attempt. And the crowd whistling their disapproval.
It was a great opportunity, Peter, wasn't it? As you quite rightly said, he didn't even make contact with the ball, and they would class that as a big opportunity. Not many come along against Milan, and you have to at least hit the target with them, and unfortunately they didn't even get a shot on target there.
Offside against Boxic.
There's that organised defence again of Baresi. They allow these people to make these runs, these early runs in behind them. Here we see the ball coming in. Casiraghi doesn't even make contact with that, and he'd be a bit disappointed, I would have thought.
He's only actually scored a couple of league goals in the last year now, Casiraghi. So he's lost his form in front of goal. Now, Donadoni for Milan. Crivero.
Well defended by Crivero. They all know Donadoni, they know he's got his little bit of trickery, but they doubled up on him nicely there, and Crivero just shepherded him off the pitch.
Crivero going forward with Gascoigne struggling to get up in support. And that was very careless.
I think he's expecting Favalli to move on to the ball there, and I don't think it was as bad a ball as it looked, but Favalli had just stopped, and the ball's out of play, and it did look extremely careless. They look a bit disheartened as well, Peter, don't they? A few heads have dropped on the Lazio side.
Laid off by Eranio. This is Donadoni.
He's come on and taken a grip of the game, Donadoni. He started Milan passing. He's got the ball down, started them using the ball, starting to keep possession of it, and then we see him moving up in very dangerous areas. But again, Eranio, with plenty of time, has hit a pretty wayward ball into Marcogiani's hands. Well, look how hard they work to get back. This is the strength of this Milan team. OK, they've not looked as flamboyant as we normally see, but look at them now. I think that there must be 11 behind the ball now.
Gascoigne. They certainly have a grip on the Scudetto, Milan. At the moment, it's the 9th game that they haven't conceded a goal.
Now, I read Berlusconi somewhere. Berlusconi saying that he doesn't want to win everything, but he wants his team to be very competitive in everything, and I think that's exactly what he's got under Capello.
Well, here's Simone now. He's onside. Surely a chance for the second goal. Oh, and he scuffed it dreadfully, that Simone.
Well, that was dreadful, wasn't it? It's obviously on his swinger there, on Simone's left side, and he just scuffed it right across the face of the goal. Put clean through, breaking into the box. Obviously not his best foot. It doesn't even make Marcogiani make a save. That's a pretty awful miss.
Well, that could well have put the game beyond Lazio's reach. As it is, they're still in there fighting. But as ever, finding Milan so hard to break down. And they haven't extended Rossi anything like as often as Tino Zoff, their coach, would have liked.
I think it was you telling me before the game, Peter, 17 clean sheets this season, and you know, when you're starting a football match knowing that you're very, very difficult to beat, you've always got that opportunity of winning the match.
Cavalli, Gascoigne lets it run through to Negro. Laid off by Casiraghi. And the crowd showing their impatience, their frustration. But it's not easy for the players out there against this so organised defensive unit of Milan. Donadoni to Desai. Certainly they've had to adapt this season, Milan, having lost the likes of Van Basten and Hullet and Rijkaard. Different philosophy about their style of play. It is a Van Basten. He may well be back by the end of the season. Another foul there on Gascoigne. Van Basten, possibly in time for the European Cup final if Milan go on to that. and also possibly for Holland in the World Cup finals. He's been a long time out, and it'll certainly be a long road back to full fitness for Van Basten.
It's a great shame as well, Peter, for everybody concerned, because the enjoyment that guy actually gives us is quite immense. And to have Van Basten out for such a long time is very sad, and we all wish him well and a speedy recovery.
This is Donadoni. Now Iranio. Milan, a goal to the good, and that lead not really being threatened at this stage by Lazio. Iranio now. Play on. Capello didn't agree, but it's Negro for Lazio. As Milan again funnel players back behind the ball, just soaking up the pressure. Crivero. Cavalli with Signori. And look there, what, 4 players caught offside.
The organisation is tremendous from Baresi. Now they've got Favalli that's breaking from the back. He's making a run there. Baresi realises that even when the ball's played, he's going to run into an offside position. They just stand firm, and it's offside.
Tassotti. Well, Liam Brady, as Ray was saying earlier on, they're looking a little disheartened now, Lazio, and you were in agreement with that, I think. Can you see any change that might occur now?
Well, not really, Peter. The Milan defence is looking so strong. They're stifling every attack that Lazio make. They're trying to catch them on the break, and the Lazio players, their heads are down. A lot of the crowd are beginning to go away. I can't see any way they can come back, to be honest.
Foul on Iranio, and we'll hear from Liam again at the end of the game.
That's a bit of a late challenge. That's a little bit of frustration creeping in there, and a bad tackle on Roberto Donadoni. It was old Paul. He's got himself booked.
Well, that's 6 now in 9 games, 6 bookings for Paul Gascoigne.
There's a bit of a rash challenge. It's very late. I think that the disappointment they're feeling is not only for themselves, but they are one of the teams that can possibly stop Milan going on to winning the Scudetto. And I think for Italian football, everybody was actually hoping that Lazio might turn them over.
Iranio trying to wriggle through. Outsmarted though by Crivero.
Brilliant football from Crivero. Obviously the game isn't over yet, but it does appear that Milan are going on for another victory.
Well, they snatched 2 goals later on, of course, to beat Inter the other week, Lazio. Played on there by Gascoigne. Signori can't get through.
Look how many red shirts there are. There's just no way through that area. It's ridiculous.
Bacci, he's got through now. And now they're all back. It was the wrong man to be on the end of that, really.
Yeah, unfortunately he was, Peter. Yeah, just as I said, there's no way through. He's through, Bacci, but he was the wrong player. Baresi stepped him up again and allowed a few runners to run offside, and with the back heel, all offside again.
Well, Bacci has come in for a lot of praise, certainly from Paul Gascoigne in recent weeks. He's been saying how well Bacci's been playing, but that's really a tribute to his defensive game rather than his attacking qualities.
If you watch the way Milan play, Peter, defensively, they defend very narrow. When people are attacking them, they won't allow anyone to go through the middle of them. They'll let them go down the outside because they know the cross has to go in, they can defend the cross. But no one barely or rarely plays a 1-2 through the middle of that defensive 4. And they defend very narrow indeed, and the front 4 in front of them get back in front of the Lazio centre forward or forward players and make it very tough.
Boksic. So ably confronted, though, by Maldini, who's had another superb game for Milan.
Quite right, Peter. He's not put a foot wrong, has he? He's been absolutely brilliant.
And there's more good news for Milan because Parma are now 3-2 down away to Foggia. They were 2 up there, remember. Polivanov has got a second goal. Foggia 3, Parma, one of the other top sides in Serie A 2. Crivero. 3 minutes left. Baresi waiting for Rossi to come and claim it. Well, I'm not too impressed by the antics here of Rossi.
He doesn't like anyone challenging him, does he? OK, the boot was up slightly, but he feels he has this divine right that no one can go in on him. Look, he's not a very happy man at all. I think Mr. Rossi might have a few problems if he was to come and play in British football.
Headed down by Donadoni. Put Les Ferdinand on him, that'll unsettle him.
I think Les might upset him a little bit, yeah. He'd probably jump a lot higher than Rossi as well.
You keep out of it though, he's bigger than you. Simone.
I'd get a nosebleed if I got up there, Peter.
There's Negro back to tidy up for Lazio. Gascoigne, who's really only on the periphery of things now, I think being so imaginative and influential early on. Laid off then by Signori. Negro. In fairness, Gascoigne clearly has an injury, allowing Cavero to go forward now. And there's Costa Curta curtailing the run of Boksic. Cragnotti, we saw there, the president of Lazio. I don't think his team are going to save this one. But there's still time. Family from Gascoigne's pass. We're now into the last minute. And in fairness, they're not really hanging on. Milan, hoping to pose a problem now at the other end with Simone, who was tripped by Victor. Of course, we had that dramatic last-minute winner for Parma last week from Zola.
Yeah, I think the introduction of Donadoni's been very vital in the last quarter of an hour for Milan. He's actually got his foot on the ball. He's managed to keep the ball, keep the team ticking over as a unit. And he's been quite instrumental in the way that they played the last 20 or so minutes. And he's had a super time.
Gascoigne. Almost sending Signori away, but what an intervention then by Maldini. Boban. Desai. Albertini.
Always options all over the field. Their passing and movement is exceptional.
Desotti, the former Lazio man. They're well in control. Milan, the league leaders. And looking still to be heading towards yet another title. It'll be their third in a row. Signori. Up towards Casiraghi. And Costa Curta and Baresi opting to deal with him together. Capello, the master technician.
Really does sum him up, that shot we just added him as well, Peter. That is Capello. He's a very intense man, and he's obviously done a marvellous job with this Milan team. He was a bit annoyed that Simone hadn't made a run. And,
interesting.
Bacci doing exceptionally well. You could call that a back pass, Peter, couldn't you?
You'll be trying that one on the training ground, I'm sure. Here's Vinter. Bacci, they've got to come forward now, Lazio, as we go into injury time. Indeed, almost a minute played now. But Milan, the bean machine, as Ray calls them, really have played so well again today to contain Lazio, restrict them to really only a handful of chances.
Yes, I think it sums it up when we talk about great players, Peter, but it's super players working very, very hard as a unit, and this is exactly what they do. They grind teams into the floor, and eventually they will get a chance, because they do have so many talented players. And this season, as you say, they haven't scored too many goals. They haven't won too many games over the one goal, but that's all they seem to need, because they defend very well as a unit.
Only 27 goals from Milan so far this season. Juventus have got 41 now. Parma 38, Sampdoria 45. Oh, good save. Boban's header.
My word, that was a good save, wasn't it? Marcogiani really hasn't been called on to do too much, and he got down very sharply to his left-hand post.
And surprise, surprise, yet another offside decision going against Lazio. Time and time again they've been caught.
This is why I couldn't understand the substitution of Fuser, Peter. He'd been getting down that line. He was the one player that actually looked as if he was taking Milan back to their own box and getting behind them so that he could whip that ball in that channel. And they've taken him off. And now every ball they play forward, you'll find is a straight ball, which is a lot easier to play people offside from. And that's consequently what's happened.
Brackley. Milan just inviting Lazio to come at them, but without any real cutting edge in this game, Lazio. For all the attacking flair of Gascoigne, Signori, Boksic. Milan relatively untroubled at the back. Now, Casiraghi, out by Baresi. Simone. Opting to go it alone without too much support. Milan on the verge of their 15th win, and it is duly collected. Well, the Lazio fans don't like it. They've seen a defensive display from Milan, but a successful one. The goal from Massaro just before half-time has proved the decisive moment of the game. Signori, who had so few chances. Boksic kept relatively quiet as well. And Paul Gascoigne, after a very promising start, rather faded as the game wore on. Rossi still heading towards Dino Zoff's record for the number of minutes without conceding a goal. Well, let's look back on one or two of the highlights, Roy, and certainly Paul Gascoigne began so briskly.
Yes, he did. I thought the opening 15 minutes he was the main man on the football field, and this we see is this tremendous run that he has. His first thing that he wants to do is get into that penalty box so no one can touch him. Fantastic footwork from Paul. He goes inside, and there's inside Maldini onto Baresi and just cracks that one across the face, and Milan managed to clear it. But it really was an exceptional run, and this was a great save from Rossi. The shot from Signori, which just bounces in front of him. He's down, he's narrowed that angle up, and as you see now, the ball just clumps in front of him. It's a great block on Baresi there, but that really is quite an exceptional save from Rossi. And here's the goal. Iranio, it was a tackle there with Favali. The ball bounces up over Marcogiani's head, hits the crossbar, and there's old Massaro, who seems to relish in those little positions, just tucking the header away. Once again, we see it. Marcogiani no chance of getting across to defend that, but all the defenders were static. Massaro was alive. As you see the ball go up, there's only one person moving. There's Massaro. The rest are all static, and he's read the situation. The ball's in the back of the net, 1-0, and that was the only goal they needed.
Well, so often he's the right man in the right place. Massaro has done it again. Milan have done it again. As I hand you back now to James Richardson with Liam Brady.
Well, a rather dispirited Lazio crowd leaving the Stadio Olimpico here. A couple of fires burning over in the Curva Nord. A disappointing performance. They weren't conceded much, Liam, from the incredible standard of this Milan defence, but they didn't do much with what they had.
Well, you'd have to say the second half Milan performed in such a disciplined manner. They were tremendous defensively, and really there was no way through for Lazio. It's a shame, really, because it started off the first 15 or 20 minutes. I felt that Milan were going to be in for a torrid afternoon, but once again, that Baresi and Maldini at the back, they're so solid and so organised that really they stifled Milan out, or stifled Lazio out of it.
9 games without a goal now, phenomenal figure, and pretty much it's all clear from here to the Scudetto, would you say?
Well, we hope not. Although the results have gone their way today, we hope not. They have some very difficult games coming up, and who knows? Football is that unpredictable game, but certainly the way they performed today, it's going to be difficult for teams to get back.
Well, certainly it's not just the result here at the Olimpico that will have pleased Milan this afternoon, as we find out now with Peter.
Yes, a check through all the results. Cagliari have beaten Piacenza by 2-0. Oliveira and Napoli. Cremonese 1, Roma 1. Maspero for Cremonese and Balbo for Roma. Foggia 3, Parma 2. Parma were 2 out there, Zola and Asprilla. And then the replies from Cappellini and 2 goals from Kolivanov. Inter nil, Napoli nil. Fontelan of Inter sent off there. They really have lost their way at the moment, Inter. A rare win for Lecce, the bottom side. They've beaten Udinese by the only goal. Padalino on 75 minutes. Reggiana 1, Genoa 1. Scienza for Reggiana and Scuravi on 58 minutes there for Genoa, just after the first goal for Reggiana. That's finished 1-1. And it's Torino 1, Juventus 1. Fortunato for Torino and Baggio for Juventus. Andreas Möller, the German international for Juventus, was sent off. Tonight it's Sampdoria against Atalanta. You can see that game highlights on Mezzanotte on Tuesday. Milan then stretching their lead now to 6 points at the top, ahead of Juventus. Parma slipping back, and also, of course, Lazio now fading from the picture. Top scorers, Baggio out on his own now with 14, and then, 6 players there on 13, Salenzi, Fonseca, Sousa, Signori, Branca and Zola. Well, don't forget Mezzanotte on Tuesday night. That's Sampdoria at home to Atalanta. Gazzetta, all the week's news in Football Italia, 11 o'clock on Saturday. And we're back next Sunday with another live game from Serie A. But for now, from Ray Wilkins and myself, Peter Brackley, good afternoon.